have you got anything for a cold open?
Um, um, I'm sure
Well,
someone.
maybe we start off like so. Anyway, I said to him, "Oh shit, have we already opened up the meeting?" Okay, no, yeah.
I kind of want.
We'll catch up later, mate.
I kind of want to start it with you going, maybe we should go, and then that's the start I want to put in.
You can now.
We can now. We can now. Well, shall I start the meeting, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls? Well, not boys and girls. We don't hire underage labour. Time for a greeting. Hello, everyone. Hello, Howard. How are you this fine day?
Hi, Chris. I'm good, thanks. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. That's greetings done with. Let's move on to the agenda. We'll go through the points. It's the same points as the previous meeting. So we've got the greeting, followed by a review of the agenda, some professional banter to continue to build those working relationships. What are you doing? What am I doing? Any other business? That's the agenda. Let's move on to professional banter. Anything from professional banter for you this morning, Howard, or this afternoon?
Got one.
Depending on when you're watching.
Depending which time zone you're in.
Well, that's true.
I've got one.
Yep.
That carries on from last week, actually. We were chatting about Taylor Swift. New albums on point. Mm-hmm. I completely forgot about this. It's not a true Taylor Swift song, but my favourite Taylor Swift song at the moment is her Radio 1 Live Lounge cover of Can't Stop Loving You, which I think is a Phil Collins song. I think I probably sent you the video way back. I've sent it to multiple people.
I'm going to write that down.
It is amazing.
I'm going to write that down to listen to that later. I'm sure you sent it to me before, actually.
On point. And did you watch the Taylor Biscuits? I think it is. Or Limp Taylor. I can't remember what it is. Parody.
Yes, I found that somewhat unnerving.
It is way too catchy.
It was. It was somewhat.
What is it?
Yeah.
Can't remember the line now. It's only important to be edgy and sexy and cool than anything else.
It's I watched.
It's amazing.
I watched it. I was like, I don't know what I'm watching. This is messing with my brain.
I love it.
I have today, because I was trying to figure out what album Mean was. So Mean is on Speak Now. It's the album that Mean is on.
That's quite an old one, isn't it?
It is one of the old ones. It's where she still has a relatively country look to the album cover, and only a few of the songs have like a pop sound to them. But that's the album that it's on. It might be her second or third, because she was started as country. I feel like she's got a lot of albums in quick succession early on, because I find country music churns songs out a bit more.
Yes. And the money to churn them out.
Yes, that's true. That's true. Any other Taylor Swift comments before we move on from professional banter?
That's it for me.
No. Okay. Should we maybe just add a like 1 minute long agenda item that's just called Taylor Talk?
Well, that could just replace professional banter.
Well, professional banter just becomes Taylor Talk.
Or is that a whole show in its own right? I don't know.
Yeah.
It depends how she keeps up the current album releases, right?
I bet there's an audience out there for two people approaching 30 talking about Taylor Swift. Two British people.
Now I know.
Two British men talking about Taylor Swift. Yeah.
Maybe one day she'll be a guest of the show. Taylor, if you're watching,
maybe
you know where to find us.
Yeah. Have your people call my people, which is my dog.
Well, I was going to say my people. It's just me.
Are you my people and I'm your people? Is that how it works?
Yes. That's it, yeah.
Right, I think we're done with banter. Let's move on to keep ourselves a bit more on track. And we'll move on to point 4, which is, Howard, what have you been doing?
Well, Chris, Update on last week's projects. The car did pass its MOT with no issues.
Get
other
in!
than the same advisories. Actually, slightly less advisories than last year. And thanks to fixing the brake pad wear sensors. So that's good news. No grovelling around on the driveway in the cold and wet and dark with a welder, etc.
Yeah.
Trying to undo. But one anecdote is I do remember. So I spent so long working on the 7 Series, which is a very old car with a lot of rusty components. It was always a good game to be able to undo seized bolts without breaking them.
Right.
And I remember when I started working on the 5 Series, I went into everything being like, "Oh, is it gonna come undone? Is it gonna round out?" And oh, it just came undone. Oh, that's what an 11-year younger car is like to work on. And then reality is most of my time has been taken up with editing last week's video meeting. So
how was your experience of editing? Because we've edited one each now, and I think we both had a less than stress-free time.
I think similar to you, I've overall enjoyed it and was satisfied with it. Took a lot longer than expected and was soul crushing after the first afternoon, weekend afternoon dedicated, and evening into the evening, relatively late evening dedicated to it. And I think I know what went wrong, and it was probably my fault, but the effort being entirely wasted and having to start from scratch, and that was a weekend of low motivation at the best of times to start with. And I was hoping to have had the whole thing done by the I've got like most of it done on Saturday, I'll just finish it on Sunday. Next one will be quicker though. Learned some stuff, remembered how to do things again a bit more.
Yeah.
So kind of looking forward to doing the next one to have improved the way I do it, which is a good sign, isn't it? If you're looking forward to applying all the things you've learned.
And I think we always knew the first few were going to be challenging because we were diving into what are going to be long bits of footage that we're cutting down, and there was always that expectation.
So it's almost like, maybe we shouldn't have put timestamps on everything, so it wasn't obvious how big of a buffer we were building up before we finally actually released any of these.
Well, we could take the timestamps out.
That's the theme of the videos, isn't it? So those took up a lot of my time, and I can't really show you much. So I've picked out a couple of things related to the number one thing from video number one, if I get my orientation right.
Yeah, you
3D printing.
You're fingering that printer.
So I'll go from the thing I worked on first, which is the related to, actually, let's recap. This thing, the Nerf demolition missile launcher.
Can we get another firing of that like we got in the first session? Can we have another little?
Let's try not
another
to
little shoot
this time. I don't know what that hit. It wasn't the lampshade. This is the prototype, the functional prototype. Proof of concept. It does shoot. That's good. The actual design. What I'll try and do actually is I'll try and grab some pictures for you, Chris. I've got some rendered models actually to look fancy, and some cross sections of the actual design, which looks more like a blaster. So imagine it is something like this, but looks a lot nicer. And looks more like a single item, and I'm going to have a shell that the rocket will be contained in a shell you can swap in and out. But one of the things I kind of got sidetracked because I was very excited to try it. This is missing some features, but this is basically the grip, the design of the grip as it will be on the final blaster. And I also, when I printed this, I had just got myself some ASA, which I wanted to try out printing. And one of the main reasons I'm using this over just using PLA is because I can solvent weld it. So this is just solvent welded together. And I had some bed adhesion problems, well, more warpage problems. So you can see some I don't know, see some gaps at the back there. But the rest of it is generally, so there's a gap here, but the rest of it is clamped together really nicely. And you can acetone smooth the ABS as well. So there's one side, this side is 0.8 layer thickness, I think, because I wanted to try out how it looked with a thicker layer thickness. So you can see, I'll have to take some photos, so I think I'm not going to be able to capture them properly on here.
Yeah, take some pictures,
layers. Yeah, you can see some layers. And then the other side was printed at 0.2. And where it's smoothed, you can't even. So here's the thing. Surface finishes, you can run your fingers over a surface finish and basically never feel anything. And this is a tip for when you're machining something. But if you take your fingernail and drag your fingernail over a surface, you will soon feel any ridges or bumps straight away. So on the 0.2, I acetone smoothed both of these, and on the point, I can't remember if how the time was for an equal amount of time or what, or anything, it wasn't that consistent, but the 0.28 layer side, you can still feel when you run your fingernail over it, you can see feel the layers. But the 0.2 layer side, you can't even feel the layers running your fingernail over them. And where it's smoothed, it is just a gloss finish, basically. So I'm very happy with that. The main thing I got very excited to try with this is using some Autodesk mesh mixer. So I modelled it as a smooth handle for the size and shape I want, and I'm going to tweak the shaping a little bit to make it a bit more comfortable. But and then I exported a mesh from Fusion 360 where I modelled it, and then I imported it into Mesh Mixer. I can look at my hotbar and see what it is, which is another Autodesk program. And using that and some of their stencil tools, trying to think which side looks better, because obviously the 0.2 side printed this more effectively. But let's try that. I'll take some photos again, but
yeah,
see Chris, so you
we'll put some pictures up. Yeah.
There we go. Look, there you go. So I modelled a stippled finish into the mesh, which I then printed. And the other side, I'll show you the other side, it's less defined, but to add some grip. And it actually came out so grippy and spiky that it was like slightly uncomfortable.
Right.
And it was like picking up every tiny little bit of fluff or anything. But once you acetone smooth it, it came out as like the perfect stipply, spiky but slightly rounded. And that was like, I really wanted to try it and was really pleased with that. So that was a something that I've been really pleased with. And I never really thought about, I can't remember where I got the idea from for the stippling.
Was it from an existing blaster?
Somewhere online, something I saw, someone did something similar. And I thought, I know what I want to try that on. So during this period of working from home and having meetings and various things that end up on your desk that you fiddle with in meetings, I spent a lot of time on meetings just sat here, just holding it, being like, this is really I'm really satisfied with this. And taping things to the top of it to gauge the length and size of the blaster will actually be, etc. So yeah, see some more of that, but really happy with that. And then more printing, and we chatted about this earlier, Chris, but I have an example, and this is a first test that I probably could have used, but again was experimenting with was having some problem. You can see the warp there, where it lifted off the bed a bit. So the top is actually, I think the top is flat, but the thickness isn't consistent.
Right. Okay.
But this, as I chatted about earlier, is the sign. So my mum has a catering business, and this isn't the final product. And I was trying to find pictures earlier, and I think I failed to take pictures of any of the final product. I say product, the gift I gave to my mum for Christmas. But basically what I did was I printed this and I made it thinner. It didn't need to be as thick as this in the end. I made it thinner so it looked a bit more like an embossed enamel metal sign a bit more. But yeah, I try and catch the light so you can see it. But it's embossed print. So this, I took the logo she had made, converted it to maybe a vector file format or SVG or something. The right file format that I could import the outline of the logo directly into Fusion 360, and then using that create geometry directly off of it. I added the border and things myself, so there's a little embossed border, and the overall thing you can see it's kind of like a border. You can't really actually. A border with a raised plinth in the middle. So the final product, I was going to paint black on the infill, but in the end I did it the other way around and did black surface and kept the white infill. I was really pleased with how it turned out. But so you might see some future projects along this theme that we chatted about earlier.
I'll move on to the next point. What am I doing?
What are you doing?
So, I have spent the week not editing the video because you did the video for us last week. I've spent the week editing other videos.
Oh, okay.
So it started with, I sent you the prototype of this. It started with me just wanting to play with composite shots to get the same shot cut in half, and so I just filmed my dog on the sofa twice and then cut it together. It wasn't great, some lighting bits, but I thought I can do something with this. That then led to me making a whole video, which is available on YouTube 2C.
Ooh.
Link.
You uploaded it.
I did upload it. Did you not?
I didn't know that. Where did you... That's stealthy. I have to find this now.
Now, if that surprised you, you wait to see what comes next. So, quite enjoyed that. Quite enjoyed doing that. So it was my dog's birthday, and obviously we threw him a birthday party with balloons and cake and all of this stuff. So I then made a video of him getting and eating his birthday cake. Quite a simple one. I've done one every year. It's his third birthday, but I've actually I think it's just on Instagram. I've done a video of him sat in front of a cake with Happy Birthday playing. This one was a lot longer. It was a lot more verses of Happy Birthday and him eating an entire cake made of mashed potato and banana and biscuits and things like that. So I made that and I thought that was pretty fun. How many other videos do you think I have made over the week?
10.
Oh, not quite. 6. 6?
Round up and I'm close enough.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Maybe you should just do all the editing then.
So, and I've even tried to be I've even tried to be like proper with this, and they're all on YouTube, but they're scheduled. So they're scheduled to come out.
We haven't even gotten started, and you're like, I'm gonna go do my own thing.
Every Friday. So to midnight tonight, the next one will go up.
See, that I liked them, and I thought they could have had a place on Cox Coe as like a kooky like opening or closing credits.
I thought
not good enough for you. You don't have enough artistic freedom, apparently.
I thought they would be I think they've got a place, but maybe when we're more established. So that's why I thought I'm going to put them up for now and just see what happens with them.
If you start getting some views on that, we can use that as a link, right? Also, watch Cox and Co. if you like, because that's my biggest thing is I don't even know how to get started with getting some views.
So we've got it within those videos. There's so I think the first one is called Weird Things Happen in Lockdown.
Yeah.
There is a sequel to Weird Things Happen in Lockdown, but that's not due for a while. I might send you the link to that regardless, so you can get a sneak peek because it's really creepy. There's one other video that's just a bit of fun, and then there's 4 others. They're all less than a minute, and they're in sort of all under the same series. I won't give much more away than that, but I've tried to, because I've had a bit more time, I've tried to just go, I quite like this idea. I'm just going to do it before I overthink it and just try to.
That's a good idea. Put
it together, because I knew that if I overthought it, weird things happen in Lockdown 2. When that eventually comes out, if I'd overthought that, it wouldn't have been as good as it was, and I think I nearly borderlined on overthinking it. But it's I'm quite happy with them. So that's been my main project this week. It's just been if I've had an idea, I've just tried to very quickly just chuck it together, do it, and have it ready.
Sidetrack. I quickly searched on YouTube for Cox Coe Stephen. Scrolling down, just curious. Taylor Swift, Can't Stop Loving You, Phil Collins cover in the live lounge.
Oh yeah, I'll send you the links to the other 2. Obviously there's one which stars Riddick. I'll send you a link to the one that stars Riddick. And see what you think. But that's been it. That's been it for me. That I've just been trying to pounce on these ideas as they arrive and do them. Are you watching it now?
I didn't hear the music last time.
Oh, it might. I think I might have sent you a version that didn't have music. Actually, I think I added the music.
I was gonna make a suggestion, but by the end of the video, you had implemented it.
Oh, really?
Yeah. It was because it would cut to you and there was no music. I was like, you need like quieter music when it cuts away or when you're walking in and out of the room. And then by the final scene, it cuts to you and the music's still there, and then the music gets quieter and you shut the door. You did it already.
Yep. I was quite pleased with that bit. Well, that's it for what I'm doing, or what I've been doing. So that takes us quite nicely onto any other business. Do we have any other business?
Yes. And I think it will be an ongoing any other business that may be worthy of its own agenda item, depending how boring or interesting it is to people. Can you guess what it is?
Is it cycling?
Yes, but no.
Oh, okay, all right.
Walking.
Yeah.
I've walked a total of 42.29 kilometres this year.
42.29, lovely.
Which puts me on track. Why are you unable to sorry, Google Drive is reloading.
Yes, so I could possibly tell you what it puts you on track for the year.
I thought it was I read the wrong thing, and I'm still behind target by 15 kilometers.
Yes, only just. And to be fair, your current daily average is about 2, and your required daily average is about 2.1. So you're not very far off at all.
And my daily walk, I try and do a dog walk at lunchtime at the moment because I get some daylight. Mm-hmm. And then if I don't have time to have a long enough lunch break for a dog walk, I'll do an evening walk. And if it's an evening walk, I'll aim for an hour to get some extra distance in. But if I do a full extra loop of the road around the houses that I live, the roads that I live in, I can get 2.04 kilometers every lunchtime.
Okay.
So the issue is there's more of maintaining progress at weekends as well.
Yes.
/ combining it with cycling, especially at the moment when you've got, I think it is you're only meant to go out once a day, but it's a bit trickier. So I've made this maybe overcomplicated for myself. So instead of so you pick the day and then put the numbers against it, I built myself an input file sheet so I can just put in a day, what the activity was and what distance I did. And then it will sum it into a sheet that is the calendar for the year and put it in the right place.
Have you over-engineered your spreadsheet, Howard?
I can't remember the words as I was saying earlier, but I want to say you can't over-engineer a spreadsheet.
Okay, all right, fair enough.
I feel like I need a reverse dictionary which will find me a word based on the definition. And there's a word that defines phrases like lead balloon and over-engineered spreadsheets, where it's two things that don't make sense. And I was saying I can picture the QI episode where they talked about it, but I can't remember it.
I think I'm pretty sure I've over-engineered spreadsheets. I can think of one. I made must be 2013, ages ago. I made a spreadsheet that essentially ran a fantasy Formula One league. And I'd put in like race results, and it would calculate driver prices, how driver prices changed, like so you could change your budgets and things like that. It was insane. I've since lost it, which I'm really annoyed about. But it was also definitely over-engineered.
No, I need to correct you here, right? If it doesn't matter, like, you can make a spreadsheet do something as complicated as you want. That's fine. I think what you're looking for is a badly engineered spreadsheet, which is inefficient and doesn't work properly and falls over every time you try and do it, and you have to do it multiple. You go, oh, there we go, it worked that time.
But isn't over-engineering bad engineering?
No, if it works properly.
Because if I think about it in the terms of, say, coding, if you write 20 pages of code to make 1 + 1 = 2, when it could be done in 2 lines of code, that's
that would be a badly written spreadsheet.
Yeah, I think it's also
it's not over-engineered for having complex capabilities.
I'm going to disagree with you there and move
I know what
on.
you mean. I know what you mean. Where over-engineered implies that it's bad, but over-engineered also implies that it's just robust or more robust than it needs to be, or more complex, I suppose.
Okay, no, I see what I think
I wouldn't apply over-engineered to software-based stuff in general, though, in terms of like actual coding. But yeah.
Is there any?
I'm a mechanical engineer,
well,
so maybe I'm just wrong.
I mean, you're the engineer in the meeting, aren't you? So.
Yeah. At least the spreadsheets I build are for actual engineering.
And mine are for utter bullshit.
I have written many a utter bullshit spreadsheet in my time.
Is there any other business?
No, but I would like to add it onto the agenda for next week of what is this bloody word I can't think of.
So I'm going to add 2 items to the agenda for next week. Well, actually, you're running the meeting next week, so I can leave that down to you.
But I would got to publish the minutes for me to add them to the agenda for next week.
So I will suggest adding and I'm happy to time it, a timed 1 minute of Tay-Tay time.
Taylor Talk.
Taylor Talk sounds better than Tay Tay Time, doesn't it? Yeah.
Tay Tay Time. I didn't catch time, is all I said, Tay Tay.
Oh, okay. And then we'll also have what the hell is that word? Just before any other business.
Okay.
Well, if there's no other business, then thank you all for your attendance. Minutes will be published shortly. Before I forget, I did return to you the like and subscribe memo, but I haven't got your second stamp on it.
Are you sure?
Yeah, definitely returned it, and I need the second stamp so that I can submit the form to HR. I can't do that without the second stamp.
Need it signed in triplicate. Yeah.
I thought it was weird. I thought maybe I'd missed a page, but there was the box at the bottom without the stamp.
I haven't seen anything. But I'll have a look up right after the meeting. Okay. But okay, if you say so.
Sounds good. Okay. Okay. Thank you. That's the meeting adjourned for today. I feel like I need a gavel. I wonder if a gavel will be good to meeting adjourned, and then like that. But I mean, there we are.
That's going to be really annoying for neighbours.